Once you go woke, you go broke. More and more companies are rethinking their DEI programs. Cracker Barrel is quietly scrubbing its DEI and pride pages after backlash over its logo. And now even liberal commentator Van Jones is admitting workplace activism went way too far.
For some companies, the new message to employees is check your politics and your activism at the door when you come to work. CEOs are making one thing clear: the office is not the public square. And they're probably not wrong about that.
This is not gonna make me popular, but I'm not mad because it got ridiculous. I enjoyed the moment for a while where we were having our reckonings about everything. We done wrecked, okay? We went from reckoning to wrecked. We need to move on.
Speaking of the woke mob, Snoop Dogg recently took heat over his response to his grandson's questions about a same-sex couple in the Disney movie Lightyear. And now the writer of that film is defending that scene. Cyrus, I got to come to you. I know you know the man. Can you give us some insight?
Well, I only worked briefly on the Buzz Lightyear film. We had a... But, oh, you're talking about Snoop?
Yes,
oh, okay.
I was talking about Snoop.
Yes,
Sorry.
I was a consultant,
Wait
but
to see what
it didn't work out. This drives me insane. He wasn't attacking woke. Like, at some point, they need to just relax with it. But this is what the media does, because all Snoop was a grandfather who took his grandson to see a movie, and he didn't screen the movie first, and the grandson asked questions, and he knows grandson's gonna go ask grandma the same questions, ergo, grandpa's gonna get in trouble. And that's what this was all about. It had nothing to do with any groups, anything like that, but they cling to this because they'd gotten so much power before they would get Snoop to bend the knee and apologize for being a grandfather who just wanted to watch a silly movie with his grandson and not discuss birds and the bees that day. That doesn't make you anti or homophobic. It just makes you a normal person who didn't want, just like anything else. Like if I take my kids to a movie and all of a sudden a political argument starts arguing out in the movie thing, I'd be like, I didn't come here for this. You just want to see a movie. I think it's Van Jones talking about like, we've had enough. You were running that ship pretty hard, brother. It needs to be more than a laughing in part. People's lives were ruined. Careers were destroyed. It's a little more than laughing it off. There needs to be some responsibility. Like not only did we get it wrong, we need to look at some of the people that we hurt and make those things right.
Van Jones is now a moderate and avowed communist. So, in any case. So, Dana, let me ask you this. Was this just a failure of messaging? Because DEI really seems to be crumbling.
Well, the other thing, I think one of the problems that the Democrats have is not only might they want to move on from it because they know they're losing politically.
Right.
Maybe in their hearts they don't want to. But the other thing is that a lot of their funding structures, you've mentioned them before, they're all bought in on us. This is what they do. And so if you want to continue to get money for your group from these dark money organizations, you have to pay the piper. How do you do that? You continue to try to make hay. However, you look at somebody like Van Jones, one thing, he's not running for office. There's another person who knows that it didn't work, and that was Gavin Newsom. And so he went on a podcast for 10 seconds, and he said, I don't think that guys should be in girls' sports. And then I was like, wait, did I actually say that?
Yeah.
And that he's not the only one. There have been other elected Democratic fathers who have said, no, that doesn't make any sense. Why would we do that? And then they have to like walk it back, and they get that pressure from the same types of groups and the media that are pushing what Tyra was just saying they did to Snoop.
So I think the key is what you just said, father, right? I mean, if you have kids, do you ever confront this where you have this awkward moment? You have to have this kind of an explanation in a kids' movie?
Well, I told this story off camera. I wasn't planning on telling it now in the commercial break, but what was that movie, Fast Times at Ridgemont High? I accidentally watched it with my 13-year-old girls, and there's like a statutory rape scene right off the bat. That was a tough one. But in terms of woke, these CEOs are just straight white men in their 50s, and the lawyers just tell them what to do. So when Sharpton and Jackson used to come around for shakedowns, they used to pay them off with board seats or money for Rainbow Push or whatever the stupid charity's called. And then all of a sudden there's this woke hurricane where all of a sudden at the same time you had DEI, you had this anti-Trump deal, you had Me Too, and all of it happened at the same time. So, and the trans stuff. So all these lawyers that work for these CEOs just say, yeah, just do all this, give them whatever they want. And we're not talking lactation rooms, like simple stuff. Yeah, give them a lactation room, that's fine. That actually makes sense to me. Or, let them have enchiladas on Hispanic American Pride Month, okay? Those are things that we can all get behind, enchiladas. But it wasn't that. They started occupying the offices of executives. They started waving Palestinian flags in the break room. There was a guy that worked for Elon Musk at Tesla, and he started on the clock, on the company dime, a website against Elon Musk. And then Elon had him assassinated. But that's what you have to do. These HR directors have to be smarter. You can't hire hand grenades. Anybody with a nose ring, lawsuit. Anybody with purple hair, lawsuit. Anybody that likes Joy Reid, lawsuit. So instead of HR directors, we should doge them and just have detectives do the hiring. That's what we need.
And I'll take tips.
That's right, no tax.
Get up his QR code.
Listen, it comes down, I think, for a lot of Americans, just to the idea of putting sexualized stuff in front of children. Am I wrong? I mean,
To some degree, but listen, there was obviously a huge overcorrection after the Black Lives Matter summer in 2020. Skyrocketing numbers of positions in DEI departments. I don't think that you have to completely throw the baby out with the bathwater, and that there is a lot of good that can be done, but that is what we're witnessing at this particular moment. Cracker Barrel, though, I see no evidence that it was a DEI issue. I think it was just bad logo design that we've seen with a bunch of companies. To the sexualization point, if that were a straight couple, like giving each other a kiss, I don't think anyone would have said anything about it. And the way that you get comfortable with people who are different from you is from seeing them in your lives. And there's that study with the Cheerios ad with the biracial parents, right? So they showed this ad to adults and to kids, and none of the kids noticed that it was a mixed race couple. All of the adults did notice that because it was something that we didn't grow up with necessarily, and it represented progress in advertising. I think it is a good thing to have children who are being born today, like my kids, won't notice that there's a black dad and a white mom in that ad versus when I was growing up that I would be like, oh, that's different than what I typically see. Or you can be comfortable with that there are two men kissing or two women kissing. I'm not saying you need to go deep into their bedroom and what's going on there, but I don't see what's so offensive about that. There are gay couples all around us, and they have every right to kiss each other just as much as me and my husband do.
Lesbians
Jesse,
or gays? Let's clarify.
Both.
Okay, that's
Lesbians
what I wanted
and
to
gay.
hear. Okay.
But I don't want to see a straight couple kissing in a cartoon.
But you do, and the whole thing is sleeping.
what about trans?
But Sleeping Beauty, how do you save her? I mean, this is
She
like
was dead, to be fair.
she wasn't.
Yeah,
she was just
It's
asleep
the cold
until her
heart. Let's
true
read
love's
the Easter eggs.
kiss.
See, the problem is trans is next.
Yes.
And then whatever comes after
guys,
that. There's
It's a
always a
slippery
continuum.
slope,
There is.
Jessica.
Come on, there's always
All
a
right.
continuum.
Listen, no, because
All
we
right,
had
fair
Bugs
enough.
Bunny
We gotta go.
dress up
They're
like
yelling
that,
at me.
and we were
Up
fine.
next, President Trump fires back at the crazy liberals who claimed he was
Elmer
dead.
fell.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.